My friend, this is a summary of the third and fourth parts of the Rick movie series. We summarized the first and second parts of them. You will find them in the previous video directly. You will find their link in the first comment and also in the description under this video. Go watch them because they are very good, and at the same time they are a continuation of today's video. Today, the third and fourth parts are here. Let's quickly remember the last thing we saw in the first and second parts. The last thing we saw was Angela, who was possessed by the demon that spreads the zombie epidemic. After that, she was able to imitate Owen's voice and ask the police to allow her to leave the building without anyone killing her. They actually allowed her. In this way, Angela and the demon inside her become free in the world to spread the zombie epidemic as they please. Let's go to the new part. The new part begins, my friend, after a while from the events of the previous part, and we will be currently at the church. We see a lot of people. We know that all of these people came today to celebrate Koldo's marriage to the girl he loved all his life, Clara. Now, we see that Adrian, Koldo's cousin, was with a camera and kept filming Koldo while he was very happy. After a while, a friend of Koldo's from a long time ago named Rafa arrives and keeps greeting Koldo. Then he greets Adrian, and Rafa talks to Koldo and asks him if Natalie came or not. But Koldo does not answer Rafa, and we will know who Natalie is, but a little bit ahead. Anyway, after a short time, Koldo's uncle, whose name is Victor, arrives at the place. Victor greets Koldo and conferences him on the wedding. Up until this point, everything was fine. What is not fine is that Koldo and Adrian notice a bit on Victor's hand, so they ask him what this conversation is about. He tells them that a dog bit him, and yes, my friend, as I expected, this dog is most likely the one who was injured with the devil zombie epidemic, and most likely Victor is currently infected with the zombie epidemic. And if you remember, in the previous part, we previously said that the girl Jennifer had a dog named Max and was being treated by a veterinary, and this dog was infected with the devil and had the zombie epidemic inside it. So in other words, most likely this doctor is Victor. In any case, after a short period of time after all of this, the bride Clara arrival at the place with her father, and everyone now enters the church and offshore marries Clara and Boy. After they finish what they are doing, everyone there continues to celebrate and take pictures and so on. On the same day at night, the celebration begins, the songs are played, and everyone continues to dance, and they are very happy and do not have anything on their minds. While they were at the wedding, dancing and making a fool of themes. We see now that Adrian, Koldo's pussy, was standing outside the wedding, getting some fresh air. He met a man named John. John, my friend, works as a teddy bear and stuff like that, and he watches weddings and celebrations and things like that. Anyway, Adrian kept standing talking to John, and in the middle of all of this, he saw Victor coming back, looking strange, and it was clear that the symptoms of the zombie epidemic started to appear on Victor. Anyway, Adrian tried to reassure him, but Victor left him and went into the wedding. After that, Adrian saw a lot of people in the place wearing white clothes. And we know here, my friend, that these people are definite affiliated with the government, and they knew that someone was infected at the wedding. So they came here so that no one would leave the wedding and spread the infection like what happened before in the building. After a while, the wedding photographer, whose name is Aton, came and asked Adrian to come and take pictures with him inside. Because he is not. He will remain alone filming everything. So Adrian adults and leaves John for now and enters the wedding and starts filming the wedding and so on. In the middle of the wedding, my friend, we see that Rafa, Koldo's friend, takes the girl whose name is Natalie, who Koldo was talking about, if you remember, and leaves everyone and goes to sit with Natalie alone. And also remember that Rafa and Natalie are currently together. Anyway, after a while, he served off from all of this, and all the madness starts to happen. My friend Victor was standing in a high place like this, and suddenly he is working on this place. So everyone goes to see what happened. And here Victor bites one of the guests, and she turns into a zombie. And the world at the wedding turns upside down completely. In addition to that, there are many zombies coming from outside and attacking him. We know that when Victor was outside, he turned many people into zombies. And currently all of these zombies are attacking people, and chaos spreads everywhere in the midst of all that is happening. This is Koldo. He moves away from Clara and enters a kitchen in the place to protect himself. With him are currently Adrian Watton, the photographer, and also the little girl, Tita, Clara's sister, and a person named Mancho. By the way, you can tell that Mancho is a person who works in the Ministry of Tourism and decided to go to weddings to listen to the songs played at these weddings so that he can see how much tax is taken on them. It's a strange job, I know, but it's outside and he's very familiar with it, and Mancho does it. It's not our problem. Anyway, everyone is currently hiking with Koldo in the kitchen. Anyway, everyone is currently finding that zombies are trying to enter the kitchen they are in, so they decide to escape from here. He finds another opening in the ground that leads to the drain. Then Tom comes with a script driver and tries to open it so they can get out of it, and then Mancho comes to help Aton. So he completely ruins the world and drops the script driver in the drain. And my friend, remember this script driver for the future. Anyway, after that, they find every ventilation hole in the place. So they open it and decide to escape from it. But Eitan is full of love, as you can see. So everyone knows that this hole will not be enough for him, and thus he tells them that he will stay where he is, and he will try to deal with the zombies. Of course, everyone knows that Eitan will definitely die, but they do not talk much, and they say goodbye to him and walk through the ventilation hole. They go out, my friend, through the ventilation hole to the garden. And in this place, they decide to contact the police, and by chance they see a police car close to them. So they go to it and find a dead officer inside. So they know, my friend, that the zombies killed him. But not they get interested and decide to make a call from the walkie-talkie in the car. But in the middle of all this, one of the wedding guests turns into a zombie and tries to attack Adrian, but Adrian holds her back. Mancho comes and keeps hitting her until he kills her. Then Mancho enters the police car and tries to use the walkie-talkie, but unfortunately, an officer suddenly wakes up as a zombie and bites Mancho. And of course, you live. When they all see this scene, they take each other and run away. They keep running and running until they reach the church in this place. They knock on the door of the church, and Adrian and Koldo's grandmother opens it for them and asks them to enter here, because the place is definitely safe. In an incomprehensible way, my friend, no zombies enter here. You don't understand how. So Koldo, Adrian, and Tita enter the church and break the door and zombies come in. Now they stand in front of the door, but no one enters the church anyway. After he entered, Koldo asks his grandmother, how many people are here about Clara if they know where she is? But no one knows where she is, to the point that they suspect she's dead. But Clara is nothing, my friend, because Clara is speaking through a microphone in the church and Koldo knows that she's fine. But before she can say anything again, the transmission is cut off. At that time, there was a worker in the church who works there, and they were in the wedding hall distributing drinks and so on. The important thing is that this worker informed Koldo that since Clara decided to speak into the microphone, she's in the control room. So Koldo planned to go and save the day, and moderately finds that everyone is now addressed here in the church in the form of armor and things like that from the Middle Ages. So they wear gold, and the worker wears from countries to protect them from zombie bites, and they go out and look for Clara comfortable. On the other side, we see that Clara was in the control room with the church storyteller, and we note that this storyteller is a bit crazy to the point that he prefixes to watch the zombies, and he feels that this is the end of the world and that he will die. But Clara was not hopeless like him so much. And for this reason, she hit him and told him that they must escape from this control room because the zombies will enter. So the storyteller wakes up and ages, and immediately they make something like a roll from a sheet and go down with it to the floor below them so that they can escape from the zombies, who are now entering the control room. When they go down to the floor below them, they find that Rafa and Natalie were sitting together in this room, and for your information, neither Rafa nor Natalie knew that there were zombies spread, nor did they know anything. Of course, they are studied by all the talk that Clara and the palace said, but they decided to escape with them immediately and then look for Koldo and leave from here. Indeed, everyone started turning here and there looking for Koldo. On the way, zombies appear to them. At this time, the zombies attack the story, but the story keeps reading versions from the Bible. The zombies, literally, freeze in place and do nothing. Then the story takes everyone and they continue turning here and there in order to find Koldo with the mention of Koldo. We see that he and the worker keep turning here and there until they reach the control room. Now, a zombie appears to them. Unfortunately, they are able to kill the worker. As for Koldo, he is able to make his way until he reads the control room. But of course, he does not find Clara there. Rather, he finds survey cameras there, from which he continues to see what exactly is happening here and there in the whole place. He is currently seeing a lot. Some of the menors at the wedding were escaping in the buses that were present in the place, and the zombies attacked them and killed them all in the situation. Frankly, my friend, was very difficult for Koldo. But while Koldo was watching all this happening, he suddenly felt a movement and saw on the screen in front of him that the Portuguese girl, if you think she is, was standing behind him. And there was no one standing behind him. She was the devil. So what are they playing with? Anyway, Koldo turns around and hits the person behind him with the weapon he has, assuming he is a zombie, and he is able to track down the person who was coming behind him and who turns out to be a normal human being, not a zombie or anything. Of course, Koldo is shocked and very upset that he hit a human being. On the other hand, we see that Clara, Natalie, and Rafa were still escaping together, and by chance they meet. John, if you remember, tells him that there is a place he wanted to open and hide in, so he helped him, and they open this place and hide in it. In this window, Natalie and Clara sit and talk. We learn from their words that Natalie was once linked to Koldo, and because of this, there is a lot of sensitivity between them. Therefore, Natalie apologizes to Clara if she upset her by coming to the wedding. But Clara tells her that she is not upset, and they reconcile together in the middle of all the kindness that is happening now in front of us. Suddenly, a zombie comes with Natalie and kills her. As for Clara, John, and Rafa, they run away from the place because they now know that they are not safe, and they continue their attempt to escape from here. At the same time, we see Koldo turning around again in search of Clara and enters the kitchen of the hall, if you remember, and find a furniture in this kitchen. He cuts his artery and kills himself, meaning the zombie they don't kill him. And of course this really upsets Koldo. But Koldo now finds his Uncle Victor, a zombie, in front of him. So Koldo gets even more upset and kills him, sparing him from the suffering he's in. After that, Koldo stays in the kitchen, not knowing what to do. But it's good that he's here, and so that you understand why I'm telling you this. Let's go to Clara, who is still escaping from John and Rafa, and zombies appear on them and they manage to finish off John. But Clara and her brother Rafa don't suffer. They continue their escape until they reach the sewer under the hall, which Aton wanted to save them from, if you remember, but Mancho dropped the screwdriver that they were going to use to open the sewer gate. The important thing is that Clara, while she's in the sewer, finds an electric saw, so she decides to use it and kill the zombies. After a while, zombies come and attack Clara and Rafa, so Clara keeps killing them violently. When she finishes off, everyone finds that Rafa was bitten by one of them and is about to turn into a zombie, so she gets very upset and extreme sad. She uses this saw and blows his brains out so that he does not turn into a zombie and suffer later. We see that Koldo is looking out of the manhole and find my friend Clara, so he calls her to come out to the kitchen and escape with him from the many zombies coming towards her. Then Koldo tells her that she has a script driver, so she brings this script driver and gives it to Koldo, who starts to open the manhole at the same time. We also see that the zombies are getting very close to Clara, more and more. But at the last moment, Koldo is able to open the manhole and Clara comes out alone with him. The two of them are very happy that they are finally together and they are both fine. But now they have another problem, which is that there are a lot of zombies in the place. But this problem is solved when the priest speaks. He talks to the microphones in the whole place, and it remains. He says versions from the Bible, so all the zombies stand still and can't do anything. So Koldo and Clara go out of the hall and find a lot of zombies in the place, and one of them attacks Clara and bites her hand. So Koldo takes a word and cuts off Clara's hand so that the epidemic does not spread through her body and she turns into a zombie. After that, they leave the place now and run away. But they find the police wearing protective suits and closing the place on everyone inside the church so that no one goes out or spreads the infection or epidemic outside. You feel, my friend, that the police are in the country here not to prevent zombies, but to besiege people inside the place until they die, and then they find another place to besiege them until they die, and so on. You don't understand why the police are strange like this, but in general, the police keep saying now to Clara and Koldo. They stay inside and no one thinks about leaving, and that's what Koldo was going to do. But he's surveyed now that Clara turns into a zombie, even though he cut off her hand. Because of this, Koldo lost hope, so he takes Clara and goes out to everyone and makes Clara bite him. The two of them turn into zombies and they attack all the police officers standing outside. But the police outrun them and eliminate them moderately in a scene that is the best possible. Then Koldo and Clara fall to the ground, and in their last moments of their lives, they touch each other's hands and then die in a scene that is the saddest possible. And so the night ends, and literally everyone who was at the wedding, including the room and the bridge, either died or turned into zombies. No one surveyed all of this except one, and we will know who she is. But after a while, my friend, a period will pass after all of this, and we will currently be in a completely different building. We see 4 officers in this building, and we know that the officers, they came here specifically to plant exposures and blow up the entry building because, quite simply, during the zombie period, they appeared and everyone in the building either died or turned into zombies. Anyway, when they finish planting the explanations, they decide to leave, but life is not that easy as we know. So a zombie attacks them and 2 of the officers get injured. One of the injured officers kills his injured colleague so that he does not turn into a zombie because these are the orders that are followed and are killed later. The second injured officer tells his fellow officers that they are with him to kill him, so they actually kill him, and in this way, 2 officers remain, an officer named Guzman and an officer named Lucas. Lucas is currently leaving Guzman, and we will understand why later. As for Guzman himself, he meets the last person we would have expected, which is Angela, and we know she was here to cover the news. But in reality, my friend, we know that Angela has the devil inside her who is spreading the zombie epidemic. And she is probably here in disguise to spread the epidemic more and more. But currently, she is not doing anything for Guzman, and it is clear that she is lost, and her method is strange. But Guzman determines to save her, and after a short time of all this, Angela wakes up and finds herself in a small lab. And in front of her is a doctor who is taking samples and many things like that. And the doctor in front of her, by the way, is Dr. Ricart's assistant, who is in charge of this entry lab from here to there. We will always call him the assistant, but it was a shortcut to time. Anyway, Angela does not understand anything and does not know where she is. So audibly, Angela frees herself and hits the people in the lab and runs away. So soldiers from everywhere continue to excel her. And at the same time, we see that Guzman wakes up and finds himself in a room like this. And he doesn't know where he is and how he got here. So he leaves the room and suddenly finds himself in a strange place. He thinks it's a ship, but that's not what's really important. Guzman meets an old woman there, and the old woman tells Guzman that she doesn't know where her sister is and that she doesn't know how she got here. The old woman, my friend, is the only survivor of the wedding of Cold and Clara, whom I told you about a while ago, but she's in a state of shock and can't believe that everyone she talked to died. And that's why she's asking about them now. What's important is that Guzman knows her and that he'll help her find her family. Among these names, Guzman finds Angela running away from the soldiers, so he goes to help her and they run away together. They find everyone on a ship, actually, and the soldiers come and around them from everywhere. My friend Dr. Ricard comes now and apologizes to Angela that they tied her up, and he knows her. They did this to make sure she was injured with the disease, not more than that. After that, Ricarte talks to Guzman and tells him everything. Ricarte, my friend, Guzman knew that he, Lux, the old woman, and also Angela are the only survivors of the zombie attack. And they had to bring them here so they would be comfortable and not spread the disease in any way. They were submitted to be here as well so they could study them and make sure they are really infected with the disease or not, and try, if they were infected, to make a serum from them. Ricard also knows that their work here is by order of the government and everyone has to listen to them. After that, Ricard introduces Guzman to the captain of the ship, whose name is Auriga. And Auriga now volunteers to go around the ship with Guzman and tell him everything about it. So Guzman wonders and moves with him. So they take Captain Auriga to the command room, and there they introduce Ortega to his assistant, whose name is Guro. After that, they get to know the ship's communications officer, whose name is Nick, and they find out. By the way, now Nick has Angela's camera that she had with her, and he is supposed to be trying to recover everything that was filtered on it. And for your information, my friend, this camera is the one that Angela and Pablo were filming with in the very first part of this series, and it was filming Angela and the devil entering her body from the Portuguese girl. In other words, if Nick was able to recover the footage that was on the camera, as he is actually trying, everyone will be able to know that Angela is the one who has the devil that is spreading zombies everywhere in the world. Anyway, Guzman leaves Nick and goes to the restaurant on the ship, or the rest house here, and he sits and eats with Lux and the old woman. We currently see that the cook in charge of the food in the place is called the Filipino. Keep in mind this Filipino for the future because he is important as well. Anyway, we leave. Everything is fine now and we go to the workers' place on the ship. We see two soldiers talking to the foreman who tells them that there is a problem with the ship and that he is trying to solve it. Remember that there is another problem ahead. Anyway, we go back again to Guzman, who goes to Nick again, and Nick keeps telling him that he can access the camera system of Ricard and his team. He asks Nick to show him the lab of the place. Now Nick shows him. The two of them see that the lab has a secret door, and behind this door there are no cameras, but there are two soldiers guarding it. It is clear that this place is secret, and there is a disaster that we will definitely know about later. Anyway, after a while of all this, Guzman takes Angela and takes her to Nick. She now also gets to know Nick, and Nick tells her that he currently has her camera and that he is trying to retrieve the videos that were on it. Angela is happy because you want to know exactly what happened to her in the building from the first part, and we understand here, by the way, my friend, Angela doesn't know about the demon inside her, and this probably means that the demon isn't inside Angela at the moment, but who is inside will appear in front of us in any case. After a while, we see Ricard in the lab with his men, and he tells them that he entered the secret place because they invented a serum, and he wants to try it on the zombies that are with them here and see if it will cure them or not. Yes, my friend, the secret place has zombies, and Ricard is currently entering to give the serum to one of these zombies, but he finds that this zombie escaped, and he knows that someone escaped the zombies in order to spread the zombie epidemic in the whole ship. And of course, Ricard knows that whoever did this is 100% the devil, who still most likely suspects it was Angela, but Ricard is currently asking the soldiers to stop this zombie before a big disaster happens. So they listen to everything they say and set off for the ship. Meanwhile, we see that the Filipino who was in the kitchen is making a nest for everyone on the ship. But something unexpected happens because suddenly a zombie monkey comes to the Filipino. And yes, just as you thought, the zombie who was with Ricard and his team is the monkey. The important thing is that this monkey tries to kill the Filipino and is able to bite him. But the Filipino is able in the end to put this monkey on the fire in the middle of the food he was making and kills him. And the Filipino self literally begins to turn into a zombie. After a while, Gore comes and now takes the food from the Filipino, who does not see his face at all. He doesn't even know that he's turning into a zombie. But the important thing is that Gore takes the food that is submitted to be requested now and goes to the ship and gives it to all the people there who are the soldiers, and the soldiers start eating. Oh my, and this means that all the soldiers will turn into zombies as well. At that time, Guzman, Lucas, and everyone were going to eat this food, but before that happens, the old woman tells Lucas that she wants a certain food. So he tells her that he will go to the kitchen to see if this food is available or not. Lucas actually goes to the kitchen, but he finds the Filipino turned into a zombie, so he locks him in a place in the kitchen. After that, he goes to everyone and stops them from eating so that they don't turn. At that time, Ricarte comes and everyone knows that this monkey was with them as a zombie so that they can try the serum on him. And since the monkey is no longer present, they have to try this serum on the Filipino himself. So Guzman, Ricarte, and his assistant go to the Filipino, and he enters Ricarte, electrocutes the Filipino, and gives him the serum he made. But the Filipino doesn't get better, or anything happens to him. On the journal, he gets more and more crazy and angry. Ricarte knows that his serum has done nothing but mess up the world, so he leaves the Filipino, and Guzman tells Ricarte that he has to ask for help before everyone dies. But Ricarte surveys Guzman by telling him that they won't be able to ask for help, because the government knew that Ricarte won't talk to them again unless he invents a serum. Otherwise, he and his entire team are destroyed to die if the zombies spread among them. That's why they're doing all this here on the ship in the middle of the sea. By the way, they don't even have any lives so that no one escapes and spreads the epidemic far from this place. Of course, Guzman and everyone are shocked by all of this, and no one, he knows what they are supposed to do. The biggest disaster is that we go to Nick. Currently, whoever was watching the filming cameras, and it is currently being discovered that most of the soldiers they turn into zombies and attack anyone in front of them. From here, heaven began officially, and we will return for Guzman, and those with him and those who were still with him. Ricarte and Ricarte currently to Guzman, Lucas, the old woman, and Angela. He won't be able to. He helps them, and all he will do now is he will return to the lab trying to make a serum in any form. He leaves them now and walks and stays. Lux tells Ricarte that he did a lot of things because of him and that he must take them from here with him. He keeps them with him in the lab so they can stay. At least they are protected. But Ricarte refuses and leaves. He went to the lab with his men and left them to face each other. Their fate is with the people here on the ship, and they are all zombies, and currently he is asking for a husband. What did Lux do? Because Ricarte was like anyway what he says. Lucas knows that he is the one who brought it. Ricarte has a blood sample from the building they were in. There is a zombie in this eye because of Ricarte. He uses it with the monkey and tries to make a serum explain why Lucas left a shoe in the building for a while. Because he was simply trying in the close to steal the sample that he broke him. Of course, he gets really mad at Lucas, but he is not doing anything for him currently. And they all immediately decide that they will go to Ortega in the command room to try to find a solution. And indeed, they all move on their way, and on the way they meet a zombie. So they finish it off and continue on their way again. But in the middle of the way, my friend, the old woman goes crazy. So she leaves everyone and walks, and Lux goes after her to catch up with her. But Guzman and Angela continue as they are, locking on their door until they reach Ortega, who asks for all that's left for him is to quickly change the direction of the ship and return them to the home. But Ortega informs them that there is a big problem, and the workers are currently trying to fix it. After that, they can go anywhere they want. But you know, my friend, this problem will never be solved because we see now the foreman responsive for solving the problem, saying that soldiers have now turned into zombies and are currently attacking him, and he keeps hitting them and he can finish them all off. But he gets injured, and this means that he will turn into a zombie, and he will not be able to solve anything on the ship. In any case, Guzman and Angela were still with Ortega and Nick, and Guzman asks Nick to enter Ricarte's network and see any information on it that could help them. Nick enters this network and finds that Ricarte and his men were connecting research on the Portuguese girl, and they know everyone. Here they are currently searching for the devil, and they want to know who he has contacted after the Portuguese girl, so that they can make a serum that cures the zombie epidemic or demonic possession. You know, all their talk and their imaginations are true, because at the same time we see that Ricarte is with this assistant and they are talking together, and we know from their talk that they are searching for someone with the original blood of the devil so that they can use him to create a zombie epidemic. Now everyone knows that Nick had returned Angela's videos, so he watches these videos and finds that the devil came out of the Portuguese girl and entered Angela. and this means that they need Angela's blood so that they can make the serum in any case. After a while, they find Ricard and Lucas with him because he was still searching for the old woman. So they arrest him and ask him where Guzman and Angela are exactly. So he tells them that they are with Auriglia. So they immediately go to Auriglia and pin him down, or Guzman, and they tell them that they will take Angela and they will get out the demon inside her, which is a parasite and is spreading the epidemic. Meanwhile, Guzman wonders and they all catch Angela and tie her up and try to get out the parasitic demon from her. But at that time, zombies arrive at the place and the world turns into chaos amidst everything that is happening. Angela runs away from them and unfortunately Oritaga dies, and after that they are able to finish off the zombies, and Ricard finds now that the assistant was bitten and will be the second one to transform. So men order them to kill him and they actually do that. After that, Ricard talks to Guzman and they know that they have to get to Angela so that he can make the serum he needs, and then they can ask for help and leave the ship and return home. At this revelation, Guzman gets angry and leaves Ricard, and he and Lux go to Nick and ask Nick if he can pilot the ship himself. Nick wonders to what they say, but they know that there is a problem with the ship and they must fix it before they move. And this is the problem that the foreman could not fix because he died before he could fix it. So Guzman and Lucas decide to go with Nick to the ship's engine to see what the problem is and fix it. Lucas and Guzman move together while Nick stays sitting on the cameras to watch them from afar. At this moment, Nick sees that Angela is trying to escape from Ricard's men, so Nick keeps directing her on how to escape. Nick does this because he loves Angela. But the important thing is that Angela is able to reach Ricard's lab and grabs Ricard and tells him that the devil is no longer inside her and that she is not the reason for all of this. Currently, Angela bites Ricard and tells him to go in and do I will refer you and make sure whether you have been infected with the epidemic or not. If you are not afflicted with it, this means that Satan is not inside me. I am not the reason for all this, so he agrees indeed. Ricarte is at her word and is always coming in. He does his tests and finds himself not. He has something wrong. So Ricard always knows that Angela is not the current host of Satan. He spreads zombies and that there is someone else like this, Satan inside him. But who is this person? No one knows yet. In any case, when he finds the world's like art, it's ruined. So he decides to do something crazy. He does to my friend that the whole ships explode after so little time that no one prefers to live here permanently to spread the epidemic. And I was one of them. The host inside whom Satan dies is the devil inside. Him is on the ship and the epidemic. This ends forever in any case after that Angela and Guzman come to Ricard and Lee. He tells them that the devil's gospel is not inside her. There is another person who has the devil inside him. His host and this guy are the ones who ran away zombie monkey. To do all this from the beginning. Meanwhile, Angela thinks she saw Guzman as coming from the lab side at the same time the zombie monkey set off on the ship here. Angela is shocked and faces Guzman, and you know that the devil is inside him and that he is the host. Why is it new? And Angela knows that Guzman is definitely here. He took the devil inside him and remained his host when Guzman saved Angela from the building. She was in, and then Satan. Why is Guzman a stronger host? From Angela, he left Angela and entered inside him as he was in the past. Satan saw a gospel stronger than a girl. The Portuguese entered Angela's atmosphere. The important thing is that the brother does not deny all of this and knows that Angela the devil is really inside him. And he will kill her and everyone, the one on the ship, and then the epidemic will spread everywhere in the world. It just never ends. From his words, Ricard comes and lets them know that the ship's self-detonation act. Everyone will die and there will be no second zombie epidemic. He will walk outside this place and leave them to Ricard. He runs away. But Angela starts hitting Guzman with a gun. Electricity is like this, and you cough it up, leave the place, and run away. Then my friend takes Angela down to a place like this. Monkeys and these all loans are mutant zombies too because Ricard was working on them. Experiments. So they prefer to chase Angela. Angela runs away from them, and at the same time we see that Nick and Lucas are together and are currently lowering the engine to fix it. But the problem is that he looks at them. Many zombies attack brother Lucas. Nick leaves him and runs away. And Lucas unfortunately dies. Nick continues on his way until he meets Ricarte and finds with Ricarte an inflatable lifeboat. Which, my friend, is in a bag and you inflate it and it turns into a boat. So, the important thing is Ricarte tells Nick that this is the only boat on the ship and that they can escape together. But Nick refuses because he wants to save Angela. Of course, Ricarte does not agree to wait for Angela. So Nick immediately beats him up, steals the boat from him, and goes looking for Angela so that someone can save her. After a while he finds her, but the problem is that the loans were behind Angela, so the two cooperate and kill them all and finish them off. As soon as they finish with the loans, they are all sure, because it is clear that they are getting out of one disaster and falling into another problem. Glory be to God, you feel that this is not a solution on its own. In general, start from all of this, Guzman, my friend. Attacks Angela now and controls her, and the devil, which is Guzman, plan to leave him and enter Angela's body, and she bodies his host again. The devil, which is in the form of a parasite, begins to leave Guzman and now enters Angela. But Nick comes in the right moment and the parallel is hit with an arrow like this. So the transfer process stops and the shoes and the parasite fall to the ground, effectively dead. Angela and Nick continue on their way and jump from the ship that is now explaining, and they die now, my friend. Unfortunately, everyone on it. But Angela and Nick do not die, and they get on the boat that they have and escape in it so that they are almost the only ones who lived from everything that happened on the ship. But wait a moment, and someone else lived, and that someone, my friend, unfortunately, is the parasite or the little devil that we see currently at the bottom of the ocean, and now a shark or a huge whale comes. I cannot tell honestly, and moderately the parasite enters it to be the new host. And we know from this that the parasite or devil has not been finished and will try to spread the epidemic again. But we will not know if he will suggest it in this or not, because unfortunately, my friend, this series ends completely here, and all we know is that this devil or parasite, he is still at large and the world will definitely not be safe because of him. But with this point, this summary ends, my friend, and this entry series ends, which I hope you like. Until we meet in a new summary, I can't say anything to you other than that. Goodbye.